It is 6 o'clock. I will now call to order the July 13th, 2015 meeting of the East Hampton Conservation Commission. For your reference, the meeting is being recorded. Are there any public concerns, non-agenda items? Being none, we'll move right on to our first public hearing. Continuation of the public hearing for a notice of intent, Mass DEP file number 151284, filed by Piscomic Conservation Trust for Mutter Field.
Evening. Mark Reed for the record from Heritage Surveys. I would like to give you a letter that I emailed out to you just before 5 today. And 2 sets of the revised plans. I've got a little set, but I also got 2 sets of the large plans for you. Hey, you.
Pass this back.
Sure.
While your hands are full. Thank you.
So based on comments from DEP and our discussions at the last public hearing and site visit, we have made some revisions to the set of plans. And there's 2 sets there that we would like to give to you. As discussed at the first meeting, we were taking out the aspect of any repairs to the 36-inch metal pipe. That's still not shown on any of the plans. Tom took a look at the wetland delineation and have made some adjustments to it, and we have located them by survey and now show them on the revised plans. And there are 6 flags that Tom can talk about it if you have any questions about them that adjust the flagging based on our site visit that we had. 2 in the rear of the site and the other 4 in the front of the site. And then I did a soil auger hole in the rain garden and have provided the logs from that. And as a result of that, the rain garden, we have an under-drain system to make sure that it doesn't become a pond and functions as a rain garden. We've added a detail on the plan for silt fence as discussed, going across the brook crossing as well as the fiber logs because of the steep slopes. Make sure that we don't have any issues through there. The European cranberry has been changed to an American cranberry on the plans. And then the rain garden on sheet L3, we have a detail, cross-sectional detail that was requested, showing the rain garden and specifying the plants type and spacing and number of plantings within the rain gardens themselves. And I believe that addresses all the changes that were discussed through the project for that. So I know that we had looked at this area in the front and based on additional soil augering that Tom did and look at the soils and vegetation and so forth, some adjustments were made to change these 3 flags on this side and then change the flag on the north side of the path closer to the embankment as we looked at in the field.
So now, with those modifications to the line, the proximity of the work is it, we previously noted it was
Yeah,
like
correct.
7 feet?
Correct, yes, before, the proposed work was within 7 feet of the wetland boundary. Now we have probably about almost 15 feet. We couldn't change the path alignment because of the slope requirements, and the flags on the south side really didn't change substantial enough to adjust the length and reconfigure the whole path. So the alignment of the path is still the same. Just now that we have a little bit more of a buffer between the wetland boundary and the actual path. Copy.
Oh, there it is. So can you refresh my memory? So I'm looking at half scale here. So you propose a straw wattle? So you have erosion control barrier,
Yes.
so that's, okay, and then it's here.
Silt
at the top
fence
of the-
and straw wattle
Okay.
across the brook crossing
Okay.
on here.
It's easier to see on the big one if you
Yeah.
want to hold that
Probably,
closer.
thinking about my eyes freaking out.
Yes.
Okay.
So we have an additional erosion control barrier, which is silt fence through this area here and here, as well as the wattles going all the way
Okay.
through that area. So we've got double protection.
Do you have any, does anyone on the board have any further questions?
I think my only thing was, you're talking about the water level with the rain garden. Did you end up taking that out?
Yes, yes. I did a hand auger in the rain garden area and found that it had modeling roughly at 2 feet below the surface of the ground. The soils were moist at 2 feet down. Even some of the topsoil was a little bit moist in that area because it's such a disturbed soil horizon, like you did when you were doing all those augers.
Yeah.
Holes. So we have an underdrain system. So it's a 4-inch perforated pipe that is underneath the plant medium that will slowly take any additional ground or surface water that doesn't percolate into the ground and discharge it out of the rain garden. And that's a typical cross-section of a rain garden. Typical rain gardens all have the 4-inch underdrain to them because you don't want standing water in the rain garden for prolonged periods.
Yeah.
And then it comes around and discharges on the north side of the path, just outside of the wetland boundary on that slope. And there's stone at the end of it.
I just want to make sure I understand the profile here. So the
Yep.
bottom of the grain garden is at 81.5?
Yes,
And the surface, right now, the surface is at roughly
roughly,
85-ish?
yes, 85, somewhere in there.
Okay, and then this was from that grade?
Correct,
Okay,
correct.
so
So about 2 feet down.
about 2 feet down is where the bottom will be?
Correct.
And then you're replacing, okay.
Yeah, we put in the plant medium,
Mhm.
18 inches of the plant medium underneath that.
Okay.
And the soil conditions were pretty consistent with the augering that we did at the site visit. That I found even up there.
And Tom, can you just come talk about the flags?
Sure.
That you relocated on or over here? Was it really pretty minor?
A
and-
minor
Phil?
revision. These two flags came down slope a little bit. There had been a flag out here.
Mhm.
You know, this path was never intended to be like included as part of the wetland. You know,
No, and
so,
I didn't interpret it to be.
But yeah, I pulled this flag out and brought it down to there. And, this, arguably this area here, it was filled. I mean, there's more of the gravel material in there, but, so with that additional, material, you don't quite make a hydric soil.
Right.
So,
Who knows what it was before it was filled? It's been filled for a long
Long
time.
Yeah.
Pre-regulations. most
right,
likely.
and these flags came down maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6.
Yeah, 5 or 8 feet maximum. Yeah.
And, this in here
There's a lot
is
of-
very clearly a wetland with spike rush and other indicators commonly in there, so.
Okay.
I mean, it's not a typical setting in that it's a plowed,
Right.
wet disturbed area.
Out and filled.
So everything's been smeared and
Mhm.
whatever, it's not natural, it's been mowed. So anyway, every insult except filling has been done there, and so it shows. Anyway.
They could have paved it.
In terms of these flags here,
It seemed more like a.
the only thing I'm thinking, I remember that, and Mark, I don't know if you have any thoughts about this. I think there was a huge patch of multiflora rose here that's been mown.
Code.
Yeah.
Could have been in the back.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that was
I'm not
no.
You didn't battle
I don't
with
remember,
Flora
yeah.
Rose.
I can't speak to what you're looking at, obviously.
Right.
Near the wetland in the back, that small little wetland area, Gary.
Oh, going further, yeah.
Yeah, further in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I think when we walked back there, Melissa, saw a distinct break of
Oh,
where
yeah.
the vegetation
No, there's
changed.
no question. It's just I was trying to think of why I would ever put the flags as high as I
Right.
did, which is not what I, obviously not how I would have flagged it. And the only thing I can think of is that I actually intended for the flags to be downslope
Yeah,
from where they
could have
were.
been.
And there was probably between the telephone game of me talking with Bill and Bill talking with Mark and so on, that it wasn't effectively communicated that the line should be
Where it is
on the
today.
contour, basically. So,
Yeah, they do follow that contour nicely.
so that's where they are, and
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Do you have any?
Well, I couldn't make the official site visit, so as long as all the things are answered that you guys came across, I'm happy with everything else.
Okay. I have no further questions. Any?
just
Yeah.
one thought that I had. I see we've specified American cranberry.
Yes.
It's probably viburnum trilobum.
Trilobum.
Yeah. So my experience with viburnums recently is they've been just getting decimated by viburnum beetles.
Oh, yeah?
That is, I mean, I'm seeing that in my front yard, but
And it's
Okay,
almost
so we
not
could-
worth planting them. And I just specifically wondering if the commission, is requiring that species or
No.
it's equivalent.
it was an alternative to the European cranberry
Yeah.
that was originally there.
fine.
If I would say that if PCT finds that when they're ready to move forward with this and there are alternate available native nursery stock, merely suggest alternates to the palette,
Yes.
the planting palette, and as a, not even, I mean, just to ask the commission if we think it's significant, and go from there, because
Okay.
I can't imagine if you proposed an alternative that's just
Right.
not a viburnum,
Yeah, right.
because you're right, it requires a high level of vigilance, and there's almost nothing you can do, other than hope it'll leaf out again.
We won't plant barberry.
I can promise you that.
You can plant it, but it'll have to come right back. And it's
And
probably
luckily, we only
less
have
fun.
3 of them,
Okay.
so it's not like, so it's an easy swap out
Yeah.
to something else.
No, just
Mhm.
something that,
Yeah,
that I
correct.
unfortunately resonate with.
One of the vegetations I've seen recommended is elderberry in place of.
Yeah, Sambucus canadensis
Sure,
does
yeah.
well in a non-saturated environment,
Yeah.
and it has the same
Suggestion.
function and value in terms of,
Yep,
Food.
it's also attractive.
and it is
Yeah.
flowers, berries,
beautiful.
He spreads like mad.
All right, well, I think I could live with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, great. So with that, there being no further questions, comments, would anyone care to make?
I'll just make the comment, I quickly looked at the new delineation, and it looks fine to me, so I have no problems with it at all.
Excellent. Thank you for both for looking at that again.
No problem.
Would anyone care to make a motion to close the hearing and issue an order?
I'll make a motion that we approve the notice of intent for the construction of EDA trails at Munner Fields, with the stipulation of like 48-hour notice for
Standard.
standards, terms and conditions.
Is there a second?
I second that.
All those in favor? Aye. So moved. Your paperwork's not ready. If you want an idea of what it's going to be like, you can reference the previous order. It'll be very similar.
Okay.
How soon are you guys thinking of starting this project?
We're just kind of waiting on you guys.
Okay, all right.
So, the next meeting is July 27. Yes, 14 days from today. So, it should be ready for pickup at that meeting. I'll be on vacation, but I will make sure it's here waiting for signatures from everyone else. Okay. Great. And it will reference your revised plans and letter.
Good.
All right. Thank you all for coming out, for your time.
Thank you.
This rancid food plate got tossed in the hallway, and I am
Maybe
gagging
you want
on
to throw a wrench in here?
the unpleasant odors. It is, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It is. It's like someone reheated their fish fry or something, and threw cheese on top, and then saved it for a week.
They're in the pond? Yeah.
And then just threw it away.
They've been in there
So they're
as long
last
as I
Friday.
can
And they
remember.
dropped it.
I don't know how I missed them.
Yeah, literally since I was
So,
a teenager.
Some of them are like this
They're
big.
Thanks.
gigantic.
Oh, thank you. I will
You
leave
get
that.
good pictures,
We should
you know,
go right
because
next
usually you
Oh,
get something.
Mr. Klein, could
Yeah.
you sign in when you have a moment?
Oh, sure.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Cheers.
Stay cool.
Yeah, right. I was just gonna hang
I
around
don't
for
have it ready, I'm sorry.
Mr. Garska.
Oh, that I didn't expect you to say. I apologize. Thank you.
I'm not waiting for anything else.
Good, good. That means I'm not
Paltry.
short on anything else.
No. Oh, David just walked
Oh,
in.
hello.
Nope.
All right.
So that's what, I'm gonna hang around for that.
All right, so
All right.
we'll just address this next item very quickly. There was a request for determination of applicability. Oh, Mr. Garsko, we'll just, thank you. It's okay, no worries.
I'll be back.
Thank you. Request for determination of applicability filed by Wamiko, doing business as Eversource Energy, Gun Substation, Phelps Street. Construction of new underground conduit from the substation along the driveway to 2 new riser poles. Overhead lines from the new poles will then convey electricity to a new pole on the east side of Line Street, as well as existing pole 15 located on the corner of Line Street and Gun Road.
Is this a tie-in bond?
This is a
project?
tie-and bond application, and so we do not have the appropriate quorum or
Quorum,
quantum
right.
of vote, because I would
So we
have
need
to
Chris to-
abstain.
right,
So we would
and
need
Dan
Chris
would-
and/or Jessica.
Okay.
Neither Dan nor I can participate.
Eversource?
Well, you could, but you don't.
It's not direct.
It's not direct because
Okay.
your company didn't file this application. This is not your company's project for Eversource. But agreed. So we will have to continue this
Okay.
to the next July meeting.
Should I make a note of that?
Yes, please. And we'll just revisit,
So Dan is gonna chair that meeting.
except he'll have to
and
step
I'll
out
chair
for
this.
that.
I'll chair this
Yes,
section of it.
please,
if
yeah.
that helps.
Yep, exactly. And
Continued or postponed to the next meeting?
postponed, deferred, due to lack of appropriate quorum. Yeah, I went all through the AMWS guidance on quorum versus quantum of
Okay.
vote, and I'm like, even, just, I can't do it. Just can't do it.
And it's better to err on the side of caution.
Exactly. All right.
Now, this RDA, did we get an electronic copy? All I saw was a thing about,
Someone can download it.
and no drawings of the project.
There might be a figure, I don't know.
It was all the models and...
Sorry.
Yes, I didn't see this electronically unless I'm just missing it.
I saw that.
You saw that?
Yeah.
Then it's out there somewhere.
You should check your spam. Your junk.
It may have I feel like it came
I think Jess Allen
shortly
forwarded it.
after our last
Okay,
meeting,
all
so
right.
maybe buried.
I will look again.
Also, this didn't make it on this agenda, so it'll be on the July 27th agenda, possibly. This is a request for certificate of compliance regarding 99 Hendricks Street. And I did a little bit of background on it. There was an order of conditions.
Should I be writing this down?
Yeah. So I actually think there's an amended order somewhere in here. Except it's not included. So there are two orders. There it is. There was an amended order. Proposed driveway. It was a driveway crossing. Next to the water department property on Hendrick Street for single-family residents. The certificate of compliance requirements in the order require a letter from the applicant, which we don't technically have, though they filled out the form. Written statement from a PE because of the nature of the crossing, stream crossing design. Professional engineer. And an as-built plan. So the application is insufficient, and we need to. I'll have a conversation, or I'll try to get in touch with this person and let them know that the pieces they're missing are what they need to provide before we'll consider it. Okay. Emergency certifications. City of East Hampton sent a letter requesting that the commission issue an emergency certification for the installation of a fence and pipe flow device, Beaver Deceiver, for the South Street culvert. Did everyone get that? Okay. This is in accordance with the guidance for conservation commissions implementing Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 88, threats from beaver and muskrat related activities. Board of Health has issued a 10-day emergency permit to remove the beavers, which resulted in a single individual being successfully removed. The funds to install the device became available July 1st. Therefore, they're going to request another 10-day emergency permit from the Board of Health, and they need an emergency cert from us to do the work expeditiously.
So why is it an emergency? Is that part clear to us?
Threat to public health and safety, and they don't want to take the time to go through the permitting process.
Well, Jim has said in the past that it was a risk to the highway, right? The road itself.
A year ago.
Yes.
So how come they're not gonna remove the beaver again?
Well, they're going to see if they can remove any additional individuals. They'll ask for another permit from Board of Health too.
If we don't say they can build this thing?
No, if we say that if we don't issue an emergency certification for this, they'll just go to DEP for one. So, there is a threat to public health and safety in the event that the culvert becomes blocked up. That was quite a problem. When they removed the obstruction, they actually flooded the down gradient property's yard because the water there was such a high impoundment built up, so it was encroaching on, when there was an obstruction in place. The, are you familiar with this spot? You know the bike path crosses South Street?
I don't think so, no.
Do you know where South Street is?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you get to the bottom of the hill, it's where the bike path crosses it, and there, not too far along, there's a stream and a huge forested wetland on the south side of South Street, and it all flooded by several feet and was encroaching upon structures on private property on the impoundment side. And then when they removed the obstruction, all the water rushed out and flooded the side yard of downstream property.
Oh my gosh.
So, while I generally don't agree with the mechanism they're using, there is guidance in place that allows for it, and I don't think we're gonna get any better. So, does anyone object to drafting? I'll draft
Yeah,
the
I don't
emergency
object to
cert
it.
and sign it and send it, and the commission can ratify it at their next meeting. What are you drafting? Emergency certification. In a similar vein, no offense to your previous efforts, U.S. Fish and Wildlife has requested an emergency cert for the hand pulling of water chestnut. They had previously filed an RDA for this activity in multiple communities. Multiple communities received this request. Basically, it's another failure to plan in advance. They can, my opinion, for whatever it's worth, is this is not a threat to public health and safety.
Right.
Environmentally, it's a problem, but I don't think it even meets the straight face test standard set by the previous request.
Okay.
How does that, the alternative is they can just file a DEP, make their request to DEP.
But the seeds, those are pretty vicious.
Do
Someone
they
could step on them?
tear people open?
If you step on them. Yeah.
So I agree that water chestnut is a serious invasive species. I just,
This isn't the right vehicle for that.
I don't see it, especially since this was dated July 6th and they're asking for a start date of July 20th. And we have regular meetings even when there are holidays. So regardless, I just don't think it meets the straight face test of the
Okay.
criteria and the regulations. But I'm open to a way around that. Other than, I'm not comfortable signing off on this as an emergency, and the alternative is that they can file a DEP.
Right. And their other one that they had filed has run out or is not
Right.
extendable or...
Right, an RDA is, a determination is valid for 3 years,
Okay.
basically. So, they included a list.
So what would they try to do? Would they try to do an emergency filing if we were to say like, yeah, you can do this, or how would it work?
No, we would just issue the emergency cert and they would do the work.
Anything else?
And there would be no public process to it.
No fees involved either.
No, but they did an RDA before, so
That doesn't matter.
it would be, yeah, no fees. Yeah, they list a series of water bodies in communities along the Connecticut River, basically.
So are they getting certs from, emergency certs from other communities then? or
They have
cities?
requested them.
Has anyone else approved them? Don't know.
Don't know.
Do we care?
I'm just curious of what other people are doing.
I mean,
Um,
I can go either way on it because it's not really
Not a big
affecting
deal.
anything.
Right.
I mean, I see it as like it's not gonna really do anything if they just go in there and get water chestnut out of there. Like I know, like from my experience of doing that work, you just basically take canoes and like hand pull, take all the water chestnut back, and then just dump it. Which I don't know. If they wanted to do it, I would say go for it. But.
Right. I guess, again, it's the vehicle they're using, the administrative vehicle that I have a problem with.
But there's no other way other than filing an RDA, right?
Or filing with DEP for an emergency cert.
Okay.
So, if the majority want to issue it, we can draft it.
I can go either way. It
and I
doesn't
can just
I don't think it's,
abstain.
I just don't want to follow a procedure or go around a procedure that's built for something else, but I certainly would like to see the water chestnuts go away, so
Right. I guess, yeah, and
I can go either way on
How long would it take if we were gonna go with DEP?
they'd issue it within 24 hours or so.
So it's not like they would have to wait a month to do it, because I know it's
No,
really
she's
big.
already got Brian Harrington on board.
Who is that?
He's the deputy regional director.
Then maybe we should let them make the decision. If it doesn't follow procedure,
it.
it'll
They'll
happen
have it faster
anyway.
than our next meeting.
Certainly if I.
Yes.
So
I
I will just let her know that the commission,
Yeah,
she
that's
will,
fine.
she can file with DEP for the
Okay.
emergency cert,
And she'll have it faster.
and I will not view. There we go. Okay. No updates on Mr. Gall. Moving along.
hold on.
Okay, okay.
Ready?
Okay.
Okay. No update?
No
Mr.
update.
Gall.
No. Compliance updates. Active, we're getting to you, I promise you, the second one on this list. Mount Thomas Estates, no 151248, expires October 10th of this year, no updates. Hall Street Extension, Jillian Estates, Mass DEP file number 151269. Hello, Mr. Gartzka.
Hi.
Hi.
So, I emailed Friday a new inspection report last week. They just started the foundation and construction on lot number 2 for the single family house.
Okay.
That's going in there, so that's ongoing. And looking at the site and the sandy soils that it was the day after that heavy rain event, we had over an inch of rain.
We've had several of those.
Yeah, right. Was that last Thursday?
Oh, yes, yep.
Last Thursday night, we had tremendous amount of rain,
Mhm.
over an inch, probably an inch and a half almost of rain.
Mhm.
And so I did the inspection, and there wasn't even a little puddle anywhere. It just
Great.
soaked right into the ground, and the silt fence was all intact and working fine. And the way that David's graded the site is almost grading back towards the house foundation and not over the
Down the slope.
embankment. So unlike the lot number 4 that was next to the outlet pipe, where it was downhill to the outlet pipe, this one's virtually flat or even graded away from the woods or the crest of the hill before it comes. So that's why in my email we would like to request that we do bi-monthly inspections instead of weekly inspections.
So 2 times a month,
Correct.
not every 2 months.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, right.
It could go either way.
That's true.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
2 times a month.
Okay.
To do inspections, and then if we do have some, heavy rain events that are over the top, I will do the inspections
Okay.
on that, but I think it would be
Fine with that.
Fine with that. Yes.
I even took a picture of the outlet structure and included that in there, and
Thank
it's,
Yeah, I didn't,
Great
we
shape.
don't have a Chris today, so no one printed it out.
oh,
But
okay, I'm
thank you.
sorry.
It's
Oh, I
okay,
didn't
no,
even bring it with
it's
me.
okay. No worries.
Yeah, right.
So when you write bi-monthly? Can you in parentheses?
Oh, I just
twice
wrote-
per month?
Twice, yeah.
Every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks.
Every,
Thank you.
Yeah, right.
okay, no questions. Every 2 weeks.
Yep.
There was a question not too long ago about decks and/or sheds.
Yes.
Bless you. Do you have a sketch, or I mean, is that something you're prepared to describe? I think you were going to mark it out, and then when it was marked out, we were going to just take a quick stop.
They've kind of backed off the shed.
Okay.
They think that they can get everything in the shed. They didn't know I was coming to this meeting. He said, I mean, if we could get the shed approved, they're trying to keep everything inside, so they don't. But what they would like to do is to expand the deck. So I'd have to bring 4 piers out into that swale. I mean, there wouldn't be anything blocking off the water, it'd just be 4 piers and bringing the deck out. The deck is 16 feet long by less than 12 now, and they'd like to make it 16 by 16.
So I guess I just want to be able to consult with Jim Gracia on that, because that's also the city's, it's the city's swale, right?
No, we're
that
not going to
good?
be into the swale at all. We'll still be on that lot. The swale is the
Okay.
next, past the property line. So it'd be in the backyard, but inside we're not, where the silt fence, we're not even reaching to the silt fence.
I just want to see, so can you pull up, going into the, can you just, sorry, I just want to,
You know where everything is.
sorry, I just want to see if I can pull
Property?
up. Yeah, if I have it. Yeah, that means I have to actually see what I have it. That was before. No, that's not good. I was wondering if I had a PDF of plans handy, but it's not. So, sorry, I don't have anything there. Let me see if we have the. Jay, can you look for the plan?
It's in the drawer up top.
Okay,
Up top, or?
I think it's up top. I think it was a rolled set of plans. So just allow us to maybe discuss it in a little more detail.
Go through, yeah, Julie, pretty good.
So I think it was the last time we were up there too.
Last time you did any plans?
The last time there was any question about what was what. So lot 2.
We did agree. This one here. So this is a generic footprint of the house.
So we're on lot 4 now, not on lot 2 anymore?
I thought we were
So this is lot 2 that he's just starting construction.
Correct.
The deck you're talking about
Is over
Is
here.
on
Oh, it's
is
lot
a-
4.
is lot 4.
Okay.
And the house and the garage are flipped.
Swapped, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Right.
but it's really right behind the garage is where it would be. So say that's our silt fence. We're not even quite reaching that silt fence. The deck comes out. Actually, there's a hatchway here, so it's probably more like this way. And that's 11 by 16, so you can see how it's kind of grading that way. The piers would be, right in here. And they just took down the silt fence because the grass is growing well. And I've kept that one down below over here.
No, I left it in the truck.
That's okay. This one.
Right, so 25, so the,
I'm looking at 50, basically.
okay, so twice of that, so another 50 feet is really the back of the
Back of the
house. I
house.
think that's what we kept.
Pretty
back,
close, yeah.
50 feet.
Really?
Yep.
Because this is looking.
From this boundary line?
I'm
From the boundary
concerned
line.
with that.
Not-
Okay.
Oh.
I care about
Oh,
that.
from the...
Oh, buffer
Oh,
zone.
buffer zone.
Okay. Buffer zone, okay. So there's about 50 feet. So on this lot, actually,
It's like the tree line.
It's not
If we
even-
were to arc it off this point.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
right, you're just right here, right?
Right.
Here, 50 feet is half of that because of this one. Right? I can get a scale if you want, but half of that is like right here. So it's,
Which is all flat. You can see it's pretty flat. Actually, it goes up. So there's nothing really gonna wash back this way on any of them. We've kept like a little berm all the way along here. Just some grass.
something you want to stake out and we take a look at?
Can you just
or-
throw some stakes out there
Good,
and
yeah.
let us know when they're out there and we'll each
I'll put 'em out
swing
tomorrow.
by? Okay.
Yeah.
So if you put them out in the earlier part of the day,
It was when,
I will get
Tuesday.
there. I'll get there Wednesday.
Okay. Okay.
But if anyone else can get out there
Right.
tomorrow, that'd be
Sure.
great. And then we'll let you know. Yeah,
Okay.
that would be perfect.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you.
Okay.
You can just leave them there, Mark. It's
Okay.
okay.
All
Appreciate
right.
it.
Good.
Okay.
Hello. All right, so we'll do every other week for inspections.
Yep.
And
And what's your threshold for a rain event? Quarter inch?
quarter inch.
Quarter inch. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is standard.
Yep.
Okay.
So,
Great.
sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks,
Yep.
Mark.
Good night.
Yep, good night.
Are we all set?
That's it. That's all I had.
That's all we got then.
Okay.
We're all set. Hi, Jillian.
All right.
Have a good night.
Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome. All right. Pleasant Street Mills, they're up to date on their reports. They've been in compliance with the precipitation event trigger. Need no music. I've not been out there. Has anyone been out there in general? Oh yeah, Jay can't talk about
Can't
this.
talk about
Jay is part owner of one of the mill buildings.
Oh,
So Jay is out.
I have actually. I was on the path by bike or foot. I can't remember. Within the last 2 weeks.
And you didn't see anything
No.
outrageous?
Nothing outrageous. I did notice a section of silt fence was kind of down,
Like sagging?
like sagging.
Okay, but not
No,
flat.
no,
Okay.
just saggy. And there were some people and lots of markers down over there by the big cleared out section doing stuff. But the path was open. That was important to me.
And most people. Okay.
Yes, nothing
So-
noteworthy.
No response from Jim Gracia about,
it. Water standing.
right,
Yeah.
Nashwanik Mills, 15 Cottage Street, no anything?
I met with Rich Relic
Oh, good.
like July 1st.
Oh, okay.
Wednesday, July 1st, and just to go over, because they want their CFC, and there was one area on the bank where there's still some erosion occurring. It's way up towards Union Street. I'm not sure what's going on
That
there.
may not even be in our
It
jurisdiction.
may not be,
Mhm.
but he does not, they don't have the plantings done for the rain garden yet, so that's not
So-
complete. So they still have things that they need to do, but people are moving in, and I asked him about the hole where that goes into the river there, the little,
Yeah, that direct,
he says it's not on their property. I
It
went
could
back
very
and
well be on
looked,
one
and it's
Cottage
on
Street.
Rivers, yep.
okay.
So it's not on their property, it's on Riverside.
Great. So as long as their site isn't adversely affecting it,
It's not at
not.
this point.
So-
They're clean,
great. So, thank you for doing that.
no problem.
Where did you see the erosion?
Like you first turn off Union Street, it's on that very steep bank, and it's just getting on the tarred roadway, so it's not a lot of erosion. It's not going near any drainage or any sewers or anything, but
Okay.
it's a really steep area. I don't know if someone was doing something up at the top next to a building and caused it to happen. They said they were going to clean it up. It hasn't been done yet, but that'll need to get taken care of, I assume.
Did
But
he have-
again, it might not be in our jurisdiction anyways.
Did he have any indication about when the rain garden stuff would be prepared?
No, I don't think so, but I thought they would be on it by now.
It's not the greatest time
No, I
of year to
know,
plant
yeah.
stuff, even though we have been getting a lot
Well, it
of
just seemed
rain.
like they wanted to get the
Yeah,
project
oh, yeah.
closed, you know, so.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Nashwanik Pond Promenade Park, no updates. Grass seems to be
The
coming in.
grass is fine, and if that's the only concern area, I think that's fine.
I think maybe when Jess gets back from
Yeah.
vacation,
Okay.
they'll file the necessary paperwork. No updates on the Oxbow. I got a voicemail from Terry Smith today regarding Town Beach fishermen, Nashwanik Pond fishermen access. The trailer parking area has been graded with gravel. 4-bay and sediment bay have been completed. The
Looks like it's ready to
flood
pave.
storage, they've excavated out the flood storage, and they'll probably complete installation of the precast boat ramp this week,
Okay.
and then it'll stop until he gets that pot of money to pave it.
I see, okay.
But that should be coming this summer too.
Okay, no, it looks nice,
So-
all graded out.
So, what word did we?
From the beginning, please.
Okay, trailer parking area, boat trailer.
Should I say that you got a phone call from
Received a call up from Terry Smith. Trailer parking area has been graded and finished with gravel. The stormwater, 4-bay and sediment bay have been completed. The stormwater.
4-bay?
4-bay, FOREBAY. Sedimentate basin, it's a basin, sorry, have been completed. The comp flood storage area has been excavated. Okay, and they anticipate completing the installation of the pre-cast boat ramp this week. Awesome, thank you. Lathrop. I have for signatures, finally. My apologies, it has not been, time has not been my friend.
Does this go under
Update, no.
correspondence, other
General business.
general business? Should I put it as?
Signed the order of conditions. Josh?
Oops, sorry, what?
No, it's okay, I was just,
Oh, you hit me in the head.
no, I'm too useful for that.
Yeah.
Actually, use your pen for that.
Plus Judith wouldn't appreciate it.
Oh, really?
I can't imagine.
I know, that
And
was
some
marker
days.
ones, though.
Well, yeah, then she'll do it herself.
Right.
You know, I was rushing to get Dan's signature. Okay, I don't need that. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent. Date of issuance,
Do I note that?
7/13/2015. 5 signatures. And we are good
It's on the
to
15th, though, isn't it?
7/13/2015. It is, however. So I will arrange to get this to the good people at Lathrop. Thank you all. FYI, no updates on Lathrop. I did not print out the June 22nd, 2015 meeting minutes. Does anyone have them today? And do we have the appropriate people here? Yes,
I
we
didn't
do.
look, but
We do,
assume
because
we
everyone
do,
was here
yes.
last time.
I actually read through them to prepare for today. So I'm gonna be taking.
Do you have any comments?
No, they looked. Oh, actually, well, there was one typo. It
Okay.
was a small one somewhere near the back. Sorry. Schedule, I believe, was the word. It was schedule. Yeah.
Doesn't change the meaning of the sentence.
It does not. Well. I mean, it's like I can't
Include any single malt words.
Well, it can't be that bad if we can't find it.
Oh.
It was minor errata.
Yes. Yes. How about that?
Yeah. Would anyone care to make a motion to approve the June 22nd, 2015 meeting minutes?
Make a motion that we approve the minutes from June 22nd.
With minor errata. Do we not say that?
No,
As presented.
as presented.
Great.
Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great, so moved. Okay, so correspondence.
Do we have any other?
The only other thing was you had emailed me a while ago on the White Oak
Yes, thank
School,
you.
and,
Shiny.
that was the drawing that they had, and the new requirements for silt fence, they're meeting with the new design. I guess there was a cost overrun issue, so they made the project smaller.
Okay, is that what those X's mean?
I think so. They're
No, there's stockpile area.
Potential.
okay.
Potential stop.
Well, some things were crossed out. I thought, but it's kind
Oh,
of.
yeah, it's
It was kind of raining the day I was standing out there, so things a little
Little crinkly.
crinkly
But they were within the footprint.
in the footprint.
Okay. I have no concerns,
No concerns there.
especially if nothing changed at the outfall.
No.
So this was a while ago, Colleen. This is
Yeah.
before your time. They're redoing the field and the drainage at White Brook, the football field. Football.
Yeah.
And track.
And track.
Yeah, there's a track on the outside. They're not
They're not
affecting that.
No.
No.
There's no track. You can run anywhere.
Feel bad.
But they are doing work. They've got it peeled off. I don't know if they're finished soils on top, but the grass is removed. And
Okay. So this was a negative determination of the claim.
Okay. What were they doing? Just enlarging it or?
No, just
drainage.
redoing
It
and
has a
improving the
very
drainage.
poor drainage, and it's
Okay.
kind of a mushy field, so they're going to do this
Yeah.
extensive project, but
Cost is always
the
an
quotes
issue.
that came in are not the same as what the real project's going to take, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just surprising considering how close this is to the plains that they're having poorly draining soils. Where the sands are, in the plains, the sands are hundreds of feet deep.
Right, right.
It's
I
crazy.
get it.
Hence the planes.
So thank you for doing that. Okay. I don't know why we have the planning board meeting minutes, but if anyone wants to see them, they're welcome to.
Do you think it has anything to do with the the cell tower business?
51 Brook Street, Verizon Wireless. Yes, I do now, thank you. That's the design, and specialists, functions, post, on-site diesel, site, find a negative, no further concerns. Choose these. Someone spoke in favor because the city needs a better signal. Someone else inquired about the visibility of the tower. Moved to approve special permit with some conditions, proof of insurance, guarantee the tower removal, notify city engineer prior to installation of conduit and utilities, provide accurate as-built, approved 5 to nothing. Okay. Would anyone care to comment on the Wetlands Protection Act jurisdiction regarding a ZBA application for special permit to allow chickens on a lot less than 15,000 square feet? No.
Care to comment?
Yeah, no. That we don't have any jurisdiction over this. It's like, yeah. So this is to implement the Wetlands Protection Act.
What would that do, zoning?
It's a zoning thing. That's what it is. It's common. It's there's an application before another board, and we either it could help things from slipping through the cracks.
Yeah.
So
does it matter where the lot is?
it is regarding 26 Williston Avenue, which
Somewhere right near here.
yeah.
That's right there.
Is that the cemetery?
Is that Williston that runs along the cemetery and the
Yes,
pond?
it is. It is. So here. So here. But it's not. Anyway, non-jurisdictional.
Chickens.
Delicious.
That's a good idea.
Messy idea. My friend had a feral dog. She lives in this house. Feral dog got lost off her.
Oh. Yeah, that's rough.
Another shovel broke before she was buried. Then before her daughter woke up. Variance to the maximum commercial width driveway width regarding 180 Pleasant Street. Is this you? No. Mike Michon?
It's Mike Michon's building.
Where did you say that is?
180 Pleasant Street.
So I guess I just want to pull the, can you find the Pleasant Street Mills plans? Tall person, please. As a point of reference for where buffer zone from the pond and its resource areas may fall. Please, anymore. What's in here?
Then the building is here. So there's the American Legion here.
I don't know how that building breaks out by memory.
Existing building. Like,
No, 180 is this one? Interland?
Yes.
He's Interland. Okay, so can you? Where's his? So, where?
60 feet.
Oh, because they're.
Just parking
There-
down below that wall, that new wall he's probably working on.
do you think this is the new wall?
The wall's
Yes.
up along the street.
Well, it's not exactly
No, I
like
know,
this
this
was
is
for parking,
strange. So this
yeah.
is probably the upper, this is probably the wall.
And then there's an
And
existing.
he's
Here's a
asking.
building here too.
Right, so this is
This-
down below.
This is
that-
driveway.
Right, this is driveway below, this is
Mhm.
Pleasant Street height.
Mhm.
So he's probably wants to put parking at Pleasant Street height, and then come across the bridge.
Mhm.
Okay.
So it's a curb cut or something, is that what he's asking?
Bridge. I don't think it exists. Oh, well, there is a loading dock. That might be further down.
I guess what I'm getting at is the back of the building. I'm just having trouble figuring out where this is relative to this buffer zone.
Right.
And the back of the building is in
Where's
buffer
Pleasant
zone.
Street? Oh, Pleasant Street, that's here.
It says roadway, but I think that's not roadway, that's
So then this
parking lot.
goes the other way, right?
No.
Oh, no,
No.
sorry.
Yeah, because here's the pavilion,
Mhm.
so.
I see,
Pleasant
okay,
Street is
okay.
up here,
Pond is down here.
so
So if
if
it's,
this is the building, then he's not in the buffer zone because,
as long as it's up here.
right, so this
So
is
that's
the
what it looks
roadway,
like.
this is probably the roadway here that's called out there.
So I would
And
say
his new
the,
wall is up here.
I would
Yes.
say
Okay.
the parking area on the north side
It's outside our jurisdiction.
of the mill building is outside buffer zone and Concom jurisdiction, therefore activities at that location are not subject to Wetlands Protection Act.
Say that again? I'm sure you said it once, but.
Okay, the parking area on the north side of the existing mill building. Is outside the 100-foot buffer zone.
And therefore,
Right.
outside. And that was also to the zoning board?
Yep, ZBA application. I think I need to requisition a big fat sharpie. Okay, so these need to be filed. This. Filed this yet, it's useless. All right, is there anything else?
I'm gonna say no.
No? All right, motion to close the hearing. Adjourn.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
Is there a second?
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. So moved.